Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to all of you, dear students. We are learning class 8 science biology. Okay, dear students, previously I gave you the mind map of chapter number 1, that is crop production and management. I hope that you people are now clear with that whole chapter, the topics of that particular chapter, and what are the subtopics present inside the main topics. Okay, today I'm going to give you the mind map of chapter number 2, dear students, that is microorganisms, foe and friend. I know that you people already clear the heading of the chapter, that is micro means very much small, that much small that we cannot see with our naked eyes, and organisms means the organisms, a particular live substance, okay, which having different complex substances present inside it, so they are called as microorganisms. Foe and friend means enemy also and friend also. So here I'm giving an overview of this chapter, dear students. So let's moving with it. So first of all, as we are talking about the definition of this chapter, definition of this word only, microorganism, that not visible to naked eye. Naked eye means जो हम हमारी सीधी आंखों से नहीं देख सकते हैं, we have to required, we have to it is very necessary, we have to require a particular device to observe such particular organisms, and that organisms are called as microorganisms, and the device which we can use to observe this particular organisms, it is called as microscope. Okay, so first of all, as we had talked about the definition, now we are going with the classification of the microorganisms. Okay, microorganisms are mainly classified into 5 subtypes, that is bacteria, viruses, fungus, protozoa and algae. Okay, bacteria, fungus, viruses, protozoa and algae. So these are the 5 different subtypes of the microorganisms. Okay, so here we talk about the bacteria. So bacteria are such kind of microorganisms which are causing some diseases, as well as they are very useful also, dear students. In our body also so many bacteria are very required. If they are not there, we are suffering from something particular diseases. Okay, so here 2 diseases written, that is tuberculosis and typhoid. Dear students, tuberculosis you have heard might be into your family at somewhere else, that it is also called as TB, right? So tuberculosis is a particular disease which is caused by the bacteria named Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Actually this chapter will also come in the 9th standard in detail with the particular name of the bacteria and how they occur this particular disease. Okay, and typhoid is one of the, also the typhoid name of the disease you have heard so many times in your family or at somewhere else. The typhoid is the disease which is caused by the bacterium name called Salmonella typhi, which mainly attack on the liver of our body. Okay, so this is all about the bacteria. Second one is fungus. Fungus also creates so many diseases. If anybody having the itching problem on the skin, or many skin problem diseases occur by the fungus. Okay, now the next is protozoa, malaria and dysentery. Malaria name is also a very common name which you have so many times heard, dear students, that malaria, normally we are believing that malaria is causing by the bite of a mosquito. No, it is totally wrong. Of course an anopheles mosquito is it is a spreading this disease, but it is not a cause. Actually that particular disease malaria caused by a protozoa. Getting, dear students, the particular protozoa, the name of that protozoa is plasmodium, which is present inside the female anopheles mosquito, and when such female anopheles mosquito bite a human, any human or any person, it enters that protozoa plasmodium into human body, and then that plasmodium creates or occurs the malaria. Dysentery is also one kind of disease related with the loose motion. Okay, now the next is viruses. Now onwards only, dear students, viruses is a very common name you people are hearing nowadays here and there, because coronavirus outbreak is going on. Okay, so virus, measles, polio, dengue and hepatitis. So all of this words you had already heard, that measles, might be you have heard about the measles rubella vaccine so many times. So it is also one kind of disease occurs by the viruses. Polio, a very common name, dengue, and hepatitis. And algae also are the type of microorganisms that normally we cannot see the structure and particular whatever the structure of that particular algae present inside it. We need microscope to see the algae inside it. So that is why algae is also one kind of microorganisms. Dear students, one another thing I want to tell you, that this particular topic microorganisms is very much favorite topic of me. I fond of this topic. I like this topic so much. I hope that you people will also like this topic. You will also get some of the interest in the chapter of this microorganisms. Okay, so so you are clear with the all five subtypes of this microorganisms, that is bacteria, fungus, protozoa, viruses, and algae. Okay, now on the number of cells, that how many number of cells are present in them. If single cells are there, they are called as bacteria and protozoa. So remember, dear students, all the bacteria and all the protozoas having the single cell only, means all of their body processes, ingestion, digestion, excretion, reproduction, all this process is done by a single cell only. And multi-celled are the algae and fungi. That algae and fungus are the multicellular organisms, that so many cells are present into their body. So getting, dear students, on the number of cells, single cell they are bacteria and protozoa, and multiple cells they are algae and fungus. Okay, this is all about the classification of the microorganism. That is the first topic of the chapter. If we are moving with the second topic of the chapter, that is useful microbes. Okay, how microorganisms are useful for us, that we have to be learn over here, dear students. So here first is given as preparation of bread is daily requirement of each and our, right, dear students. Whenever we are eating the bread, so normally, right, so in the preparation of the bread, the microorganisms are useful, that is yeast. Okay, yeast is one kind of bacteria which is useful for the, you had already learned in detail about it while you were learning the chapter. Okay, so that is all about the preparation of the bread. Now the second is curd formation, that is lactobacillus. Okay, here lactobacillus, it is the name of the bacteria which is responsible for making curd from milk. Okay, so I want to give you some of the information about the lactobacillus, dear students, over here. Why the name is given lactobacillus? Because lactose is one kind of sugar which is present where? Which is present in milk. Okay, so now what happens actually, this particular bacteria named lactobacillus, they eat up sugar. It is present where it is present in the milk. They eat up the sugar and convert them into the acids. Okay, and as they are taking up the lactose sugar, on the basis of that this particular name is given, that is lactobacillus. And what I mean by bacillus, actually the bacillus meaning is the rod like structure, or we can say a rectangular structure. So when we are observing this particular lactobacillus under the microscope, they look like a rod shaped, and that is why the name is given as bacilli, that is bacillus. So curd formation, the name of that the bacteria are lactobacillus. So now your people are clear also that why they are called as lactobacillus, because they are taking up the lactose sugar present inside the milk. Okay, so these are the particular bacteria which are responsible for formation of curd from the milk. Okay, now the next is clean environment. Of course, dear students, in cleaning of the environment, now you having might be here some of the confusion that how cleaning environment, madam, by bacteria are useful. Of course, dear students, decomposition, whatever the waste we are throwing here and there, all that particular waste is decomposed. Also the dead bodies of animals, plants, birds decomposed by the bacteria. So in cleaning in environment, in such a way bacteria are very useful for the decomposition of particular waste. Now the last one is the formation of alcohol, and this particular process is called as fermentation. Now what do you mean by fermentation over here, dear students? That conversion of particular alcohol from sugar, that process is called as fermentation, and it is also called as formation of alcohol. Now this formation of alcohol is widely used in the beer industries to make beers, wines, and grape juices, and from so many other fruits. So these are the usefulness of the microorganisms, that is preparation of bread, curd formation, then cleaning in the environment and formation of the alcohol. Also the nitrogen cycle is a very useful product of the nitrogen, dear students. Actually you have to learn about nitrogen cycle in detail in 9th standard, but here also some of the idea you have to take over here, that whatever the atmospheric nitrogen is there, it cannot be taken up by the plants directly or the human beings directly. That atmospheric nitrogen first convert into the useful nitrogen and suitable nitrogen, and then soluble nitrogen, and then it can be taken up by the plants and all, and from that plants that nitrogen then goes into the animals. Okay, so this is called as nitrogen fixation. So this particular thing, nitrogen fixation, it is done by the blue green algae and the bacteria. The name of the particular bacteria, how they are occurred, that all you have to learn in class 9, but now only you have to be remember over here that blue green algae and the bacteria called, we can say, a rhizobium, are the particular bacteria. They convert atmospheric nitrogen into the soluble form, and that atmospheric nitrogen, whatever they are converting into the soluble form, it can be taken up by the plants, and from the plants the nitrogen will go on into the further animals. Okay, so this is all about the usefulness of the microorganisms. If we'll come with the harmful microorganisms, so harmful microorganisms are called as pathogens. Might be, dear students, you have heard about the pathology lab, from where your blood samples and urine samples will be collected and then diagnosed. Okay, so that particular lab is called as pathology lab, because at their pathogens are detected. So harmful microbes are called as pathogens. They are causing diseases like cholera, common cold, flu. So many diseases occurs by the particular pathogens, or these particular pathogens are called as disease causing microorganisms. Okay, now some of the microorganisms are act as a carrier of the disease, means they are not actually a cause of the disease, they are carrying the disease from one person to another person, as now I told you about the malaria. So that particular pathogens are called as carrier. For example, Anopheles malaria. Anopheles is the name of the mosquito which causes the disease malaria. Aedes, it is also a name of the mosquito which causes dengue. Then causes disease in animals, that's anthrax in cattle, and the name of the bacteria is Bacillus anthrax. Bacillus anthrax is one of the bacteria which causes anthrax disease in what? In animals. Now some of the organisms cause disease in plants: virus, yellow vein mosaic, bacteria, citrus canker, and fungi, rust of wheat. This yellow vein mosaic, citrus canker, and rust of wheat, dear students, these are the three names of the diseases, and these three particular diseases are the plant diseases. So clear about that, dear students. Also, this bacteria are causing the food poisoning. Food poisoning in a way that as particular bacteria or microorganisms are present in some food, they are decompose that particular food, means they are totally derive that particular not derive, they are convert that particular food into different taste, we can say bad taste or bad aroma or bad smell, and that is why they are causing the food poisoning if we are consuming such food. Okay, so disease can be caused by vaccination. Vaccine, that micro vaccination is one of the process to immune our body system. Okay, so what is vaccine? Actually, vaccine is the preparation of dead microbes which are injected into our body. Antibodies are produced in and defense mechanism. Okay, so this is also one kind of So this is also, vaccination is also another type of immunization process that also we have to learn in detail in ninth class, but now only you have to be remember that it is done with the help of microorganisms only. Okay, now food preservation, how we are going to preserve our food. So using chemical, now one chemical you have to be remember for 8th standard, that sodium benzoate. And some of the another common method which our mom is using at our homes, that is oil, salt and vinegar. So this is all about the mind map of chapter number 2, dear students. I'll give the link of this chapter in the description box. Please write it down into your notebook.